guys, my name's Mike, and this is Pine Time on YouTube. If you haven't checked out my podcast, you can find it on Podbean. It distributes to Spotify and other places. Come on over and listen to it. What I do on the podcast is I talk about what I do in practice, different situations I've been in, games, rules I have for the team, Christmas practices, these kind of things. Just my philosophy on basketball. That's not to say I know more than anybody. I'm not even saying I know as much as anybody. It's just 23 years of experience. If you like what you hear, or if you don't like what you hear, but be nice, my email is pine.time@protonmail.com. Feel free to send me an email. I'll try to respond to as many as I possibly can. Today, what I'm going to show you here on YouTube is the first of several plays. I'm going to dig into my playbook here. And this offense is what we call Pirate. It was originally used for a 1-3-1 offense only. Through time, it has become the offense that I run 80% of the time. What I found is this works especially well against matchup zones. It works great against a 1-3-1 zone, and it works really well against 2-3 zones. Again, this is called Pirate. It's what we do when we see just your typical zone. So the way it lines up is like this. So here's the way it goes. You want your guards no wider than the lane. If they get too narrow, it gives you bad angles. If they get clear over here, it drags defenses into your passing lanes. So you want your guards as wide as the lane. The next thing that you want is you want your wings no lower than a step below the free throw line. I always tell them free throw line extended, but it's actually better if their top foot is on the free throw line, not their bottom foot, if that makes sense. When we run this pattern, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw the ball to a wing. So let's say we throw the ball here to 3. The first thing that I ask, I left out a post. So here's your post. So the pass goes to 3. The post is going to follow the ball just like that. And when that happens, what we want is for this guard to take one dribble down. Usually one's good enough. The reason we have them do it is because if they have, let's say you're facing a 2-3 zone, and they've got their 2 defenders back, or their 3 defenders back here. If you have a good post, they can front and back that guy. If you have a decent post, if they're just daring you to shoot, they can front and back that guy. When I have this guy dribble down a step, and I say just a step, I assume a high school guy can dribble down to roughly this area. What it's going to do is it's going to force this guy to step out. Okay, so what we end up getting after that is we have 3 with the basketball, 5 is here, and then here goes the pattern. We are going to flash, we are going to crash, and we are going to slide. Now, when we flash, I tell this guy there's going to be a dead spot somewhere in this area right there. And I tell him, I want you to go stick your nose in it. If the defender's playing a little lower, he comes in a little bit lower. If the defender's playing higher, he can come in a little bit higher. But what we want more than anything is for him to get to the outside of those defenders over there. So 1 has crashed, 2 has slid away, and that's what we want. Now, here's the key. 1 has to stay here until a pass is made up top, okay? The reason being is this defender right there, a lot of times he's responsible for 2 and for 1. And so by 1 being right there, it keeps him honest. If he's cheating up the floor looking to intercept a skip pass, because that is a pass that you will throw, if he's cheating up the floor trying to intercept that, then 1's going to be wide open on the crash, and you can kind of see it coming, and you just have to look for it. I encourage my team to make that pass a couple times a game, if for no other reason than to show them that we will make that pass. So 4 has flashed. Let's say he doesn't get the ball. Now, here's first of all, if he does get the ball there, a lot of times the defense is fronting 5. You've got the high-low dump right there. That's really something we get a ton of in a game. So that's definitely a possibility. But let's say 4 comes to here and doesn't get the ball. He is going to pop up. So now you see the danger of getting 3 too low. That becomes a real long pass. So like I said, there's There's a happy medium you're going to find. And really, if they're not fronting and backing the post, if this guy's cheating out a little bit anyways, you don't have to take that dribble down. That's just if they're doubling back down. I tell my kids, dribble down a step or so to draw the back of that zone out. So it may be something you don't have to do. Okay, so 3's got the ball. Now he can either pass to 4 popping up, or you can make this skip pass to 2. We get a lot of 3-pointers on that skip pass right there every game. Doesn't matter which one you do. It just depends on which one's open. But on the pass, 1 is now going to break out. Okay, we're going to swing the ball back over to 1. And when you do that, you want it to be fairly quick. I can't stand when I get this pass to 4 and he wants to stand there and look and hold the ball. I can't stand that because you're trying to get that defense from swinging side to side. And if they're holding it up here, it takes that away. I don't mind if you catch it, you look to shoot. If you catch it and you drive, but don't catch it and hold it. That's the big deal. So the ball gets swung to 1. 5 is going to follow the ball. And then here we go. We're going to flash. We're going to crash. And we're going to slide away. Now, 2 will be in that slide pattern until the ball goes back to the same wing twice. So let's say 3 through to 4, and 4 went back to 3. Now 4 would become the slide guy. And you want that guy that's doing the sliding, you want him to be a shooter. And you can't always control that. I mean, you have 4 different players out there on the perimeter. Sometimes you're going to get a guy out there that's not a real good shooter, but if you do get a guy that's a shooter that's in that slide pattern, he's going to get a lot of 3 looks. So that's just something to be aware of. One of the things that I have happen a lot with my kids, and again, just probably poor coaching as much as anything, but when 4 crashes, I get kids that want to come down and do this bit here. I tell them, no, you get down and you plant until that pass is made. Another thing to consider is 3-second counts going on while he gets there, okay? So he has to be aware, this guy has to be aware, and on that pass, this guy breaks out just like that. Anyways, guys, that is my offense that we call Pirate. If you have any questions about it, by all means, you can send me an email. Again, pine.time@protonmail.com. Be glad to answer any questions you have. I'm going to have more of these videos coming up with different offenses that I have. I hope you guys will come back. Thanks for coming on.